Long ago, in a quiet village nestled beside a sprawling ancient forest, lived a kind couple whose hearts ached for a child. Their small cottage, though humble, was always filled with love and warmth. If only we had a child to share this with, the wife would often sigh, looking out the window towards the woods. Her husband would gently take her hand and reply, "One day, my love, one day." Their prayers were finally answered. When the wife became pregnant, a strange and powerful craving took hold of her. It was for the fresh, green rampion that grew in the mysterious garden next door, a garden belonging to a powerful sorceress. "I can feel our child growing stronger every day," she'd say, her eyes fixed on the forbidden greenery. "That scent, that garden, the rampion, I need it. Please, just one bite. I crave it so badly I feel I might waste away without it." The husband's heart broke to see his wife in such distress. So, under the dark cloak of night, he scaled the high garden wall. He quickly gathered a handful of the precious herb and returned to his wife, who devoured it eagerly. But one taste wasn't enough. The craving returned, stronger than before. Desperate to soothe her, he promised to go back. "I'll do anything to make you well again," he whispered. "Just a little more rampion. I'll be quick. No one will ever notice." But this time, he was not so lucky. As his hand closed around the rampion, a figure materialized from the shadows, a swirl of wind and creeping vines. It was the sorceress, Mother Gothel. "You dare steal from my garden?" she seethed, her voice like ice. "You will pay for this." Terrified, the husband fell to his knees. "Please, my wife is expecting our child. She longs for this herb. It's all she can think of." Gothel's eyes burned with a cold, calculating fury. "The child your wife carries," she declared, "will be mine. A life for a life. You broke the rules, and this is the price. You will give her to me the moment she is born." There was no arguing. A deal was struck in the shadows of the garden, sealed by fear. And so it was. When their beautiful baby girl was born, the sorceress appeared as promised and swept her away. She named the child Rapunzel. Rapunzel grew up locked away in a tall, lonely tower, a stone spire with no stairs and no door, hidden deep within the forest. As the years passed, she blossomed into a beautiful young woman, with a kind heart and a spirit full of wonder, despite her isolation. Mother Gothel had raised her on stories of a cruel and dangerous world outside, a world Rapunzel was to be protected from. The only way into the tower was by climbing Rapunzel's magnificent long golden hair. Each day, Gothel would stand at the base of the tower and call out her familiar command, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel always obeyed, and her shining locks would cascade from the high window like a waterfall of pure sunlight. Though she was an obedient daughter, Rapunzel's heart was full of dreams. She wondered what lay beyond the endless sea of trees. At night, she would sing to the stars, her voice a melody of longing for a world she'd never seen. She painted vibrant murals on the tower walls with berry juice and charcoal. She counted the clouds as they drifted by, and she braided her unspoken wishes into her long golden hair, whispering to herself, "When will my world begin?" Her beautiful songs would drift out of the window and echo through the forest, carried on the breeze. One day, a prince was riding through those very woods when he heard a voice that sounded like a chorus of songbirds. It was a sound so pure and enchanting that he felt compelled to find its source. He followed the melody until it led him to the strange, isolated tower. He hid behind a thicket of trees, puzzled by the structure, when he saw an old woman approach. To his utter amazement, he watched as she stood below the window and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." A moment later, a brilliant braid of golden hair tumbled down, and the woman climbed up it, disappearing inside. The prince was captivated. He returned the next day, after he was sure the old woman had left. Taking a deep breath, he stood in the same spot and mimicked her call. The golden braid fell once more, and with his heart pounding, he began to climb. When he reached the top, he found a startled but curious Rapunzel. She had never seen another person besides Mother Gothel. "You're not Mother Gothel," she said softly, her eyes wide. "Who are you?" The prince, struck by her radiance, held up his hands gently. "Please don't be afraid," he said. "I heard your song. It led me here. I've never heard anything so pure or seen anyone so lovely." They talked for hours that day, and he returned the next day, and the day after that. A quiet friendship quickly blossomed into a deep and profound love. The prince described a world Rapunzel had only dreamed of mountains that touched the sky, vast oceans that stretched on forever, and millions of stars that danced freely in the night sky. Rapunzel listened, her heart swelling with a powerful longing. "If I could leave this tower," she asked, her voice full of hope, "where would we go first?" The prince smiled. "Everywhere," he promised. "I'll come back for you tomorrow." But when Mother Gothel returned that evening, she immediately sensed that something was different. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair!" she called, her voice sharp. As she climbed, Rapunzel in her innocence made a fatal mistake. "Mother," she asked, "why are you so much heavier to pull up than the prince?" Gothel froze, her face contorting with rage. "The prince?" she hissed. "You let someone else climb this tower? You foolish, foolish child, you've ruined everything." In her terrible fury, she grabbed a pair of shears. With two swift, cruel snips, she cut off Rapunzel's glorious golden hair. Then, using her dark magic, she cast the heartbroken girl into a desolate desert, far, far away. "You will never see him again," she shrieked. Gothel, driven by vengeance, waited in the tower with the severed braid. When the prince arrived and called out, she let the golden locks fall. He climbed eagerly, his heart full of love and anticipation, only to be met by Gothel's triumphant, wicked face. "She's gone!" the sorceress cackled. "The bird has flown the nest and you'll never find her." Heartbroken and overcome with despair, the prince leapt from the tower. He didn't die, but fell into a patch of sharp thorns below, which blinded him. For years he wandered the wilderness, a blind and broken man, guided only by the memory of Rapunzel's voice and the faint hope that he might one day hear it again. Meanwhile, far away, Rapunzel survived in the harsh desert. She found water and food, but her heart was empty. She sang her sad songs to the wind, always dreaming of the prince she had lost. Years passed. Then one day, as the prince stumbled through a barren land, he heard it, a faint but familiar melody on the wind. It was her voice. He followed the sound, his steps growing more certain with every note. Finally, he found her. She was singing by a small stream, her hair now short, but her voice as beautiful as ever. As they embraced, her tears of pure joy fell into his eyes, and in that moment, a miracle occurred. Her tears washed away the darkness, and his sight was restored. The first thing he saw was her face, shining with love. "You saved me, Rapunzel," he whispered, holding her close. "Let's go home. Let's live free, together." And so, Rapunzel and the prince returned to his kingdom, leaving the tower and the forest far behind. They built a new life, one filled not with walls and isolation, but with music, laughter, and sunlight. And they lived not just happily ever after, but freely, wisely, and bravely for all their days. Thank you so much for watching this story with me. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales. We'll see you next time.